Hi, I'm Punyakshi. I'm a data analyst. Today, I would like to take you through my recent project. The agenda for today's presentation will be that firstly, we'll start with the problem statement and then the goals. Then I shall discuss about the city analytics overview followed by loyalty and targets analysis. Lastly, I shall share some insights drawn from the data and then the few recommendations. So let's start. The problem statement is that GoodCabs is a rapidly growing Tier 2 city cab service, which needs to evaluate its current performance across various key metrics such as trip volume, passenger satisfaction, repeat passenger rates, balance between new and repeat passengers, and trip distribution, etc. The chief of operation needs immediate insights to guide decisions, but the team's lead analyst is occupied with another priority. So, my aim is to access company's performance across various key metrics and then utilize data analysis and visualization tools such as SQL and Power BI to craft a dynamic and easy to understand dashboard. The objective is to deliver actionable recommendations that align with GoodCab's growth strategy, enhancing passenger satisfaction and supporting the company's 2024 targets. This is the city analytics overview. Here, we can see that the total trips volume is 4,26,000, which drives a total revenue of 108 million. The average passenger rating is 7.66 and the average driver rating is 7.83, which shows that GoodCabs has highly skilled drivers. Here we have slices for city, month and passenger type to select the desired city and month for analysis. Here we can see that the top performing cities according to the trip volume are Jaipur, followed by Lucknow and Surat, whereas the bottom performing cities are Visakhapatnam, Coimbatore and Mysore. Also, we can see that Jaipur, Kochi, Visakhapatnam and Mysore are the highest rated cities with very skilled drivers, which have an average driver rating of 9 and average passenger rating of 8.43. Whereas in the cities such as Vadodara, Lucknow and Surat, we can see that they have very low average passenger and average driver ratings, which shows the lack of skilled drivers in these cities. Also, talking about the peak and low demand season, here we can see that from February to May, it is the peak demand season for GoodCabs, whereas June and January is the lowest demand season for GoodCabs. Also, talking about the average trip distance, we can see that Jaipur, Kochi, Chandigarh and Visakhapatnam, these cities have the average trip distance and the average fare per trip, which makes them the highest revenue driving cities as well. Where also we can see that in Lucknow, Vadodara and Surat, the average trip distance is quite very low and the average fare trip is also very low, which depicts that here the trip services are used maximum by the local passengers and the trip frequency is also huge since we have a maximum trip volume for Lucknow and Surat, as we can see from this graph. Also, as I have just told that in Coimbatore, Lucknow, Vadodara and Surat, since the average trip distance is low and the average fare trip is also quite reasonable, therefore we have maximum repeat passengers trip frequencies in these cities, Coimbatore, Lucknow, Surat and Vadodara. Whereas in cities such as Chandigarh, Indore, Jaipur, Kochi, Mysore and Visakhapatnam, we can see that the maximum trip frequency is of 2 trips, which shows that in these cities, the loyal passengers or the repeat passenger rate is quite low. Here also in this graph, we can see that cities such as Jaipur, Mysore, Kochi, Chandigarh, since these cities are tourist-oriented, these have low loyal passenger rates. Whereas cities such as Surat, Lucknow, Indore, Vadodara, where the maximum users or the passengers are the locals, and the pricing is also quite affordable, which makes these cities the most cities with most loyal passengers. Here, in this graph, we can see that in the tourist-oriented cities such as Jaipur and Mysore and Kochi, the maximum trips are on weekends instead of weekdays, which which again tells us that these are tourist-oriented cities. Whereas for the cities where locals use the cab services more, in cities such as Lucknow, Surat, Indore, and Vadodara, the weekend trips are more than the weekdays. The weekdays trips are more than the weekends. In Lucknow, 50K trips are on the weekdays and only 15K in the weekend. Similarly, for Surat, we have more trips on weekdays and less on weekends. Talking about the months with low loyal passenger rate. Low loyal passenger rate suggests that there are more new passengers in these months, since in these cities such as Jaipur, Mysore, Kochi, and Chandigarh, since these are the peak demand months, so the most of the passengers are new, and the loyal passenger rate is quite very low. Whereas when we talk about the high repeat passenger rate or high loyal passenger rate, we can say that in the month of May, June, and April, most of the services are used by the locals, and hence the loyal passenger rate is high in these months. Now, talking about the top revenue months by city, we can see that maximum revenue of GoodCabs is generated in the month of April, February, and May. Since in Jaipur, Chandigarh, Lucknow, we can see that the maximum revenue is drawn in the month of February, and for Kochi, Indore, and Mysore, maximum revenue month is May, and for the rest of the cities, maximum revenue is drawn in April. Now, talking about the targets, this is the most crucial and important thing for a company to know, that whether the targets regarding new passengers or the ratings or the trips have been achieved, because it shows that whether the customer base is loyal, or how is the customer experience, so that it can gather new passengers. What is the rating of the rating, average passenger and average driver rating, so that we can know about the total customer experience, whether it is good or bad, and how can it be improved, and also about the total target, so that we can know about the trips volume and the total revenue, how we can improve the total trips volume and higher revenue. So, when we talk about new passenger target achieved, here we can see that cities such as Lucknow, it has achieved new passengers in few of the months, whereas in some months it has missed the new passenger target. In Indore, we can see that it has achieved the target in all of the months and gathered new passengers because of its services. In Surat or Vadodara, we can see that at some months it has achieved the new passenger target, whereas in the month of the target achievement has been depleting constantly from the month of April to June, and it has the Vadodara city has missed its target by 26% in the month of June. So it needs to improve on its customer experience, so that it can attract more new passengers. Now, talking about the rating target achieved, we can see that Jaipur has the highest ratings in terms of average driver passenger rating and average passenger rating, and hence it has exceeded the ratings in all the months, and it has the maximum skilled drivers. Whereas in cities such as Surat, we can see that the rating is very low, and the rating target is not also achieved, and it has been missed in all the months. So there is a huge scope in Surat to attain the to improve the customer experience and attain the rating targets. Lastly, talking about the trips target achieved, here we can see that in Mysore, the trips target have been achieved in all of the months, and it has been exceeded. In Coimbatore, we can see that the trips target has been the improvement has been seen from the month of January to March, but we see that from March it has been that downfall in the trip target achievement, and because of the customer experience. So the trip target, if the rating has been better and the customer experience would have been better in March and in April, then the trip target would not have fallen by 29% in the month of June. So we can say that for Kochi, there is a huge scope of improvement for the further months, where it can focus on the customer experience in multiple ways. Lastly, talking about the insights and recommendations, we can, as we have already seen, that for the cities such as Lucknow, Coimbatore, Surat, Vadodara, which had low average fares and short trip distances, here we have seen that people are mostly cost-conscious daily commuters, which use the cab services. Also, we have seen that for the cities like Lucknow, Jaipur, and Chandigarh, which experience extreme weathers in February, here in these months people prefer convenience over cost, because we have seen that in Jaipur and Chandigarh the average higher trip cost is quite very high. Also, in the tourist-oriented cities, we have seen the seasonal tourism in cities like Jaipur, Kochi, and Mysore. Therefore, to increase the loyal customer reach and drive higher trip volumes and increased volume, it is recommended that GoodCabs should consider highly urbanized cities with affluent and youthful populations, or it should choose cities and consider the cities with limited public transportation options, so that people prefer GoodCabs more due to the limited availability of the transportation. Nextly, talking about this seasonal tourism, which has impacted GoodCabs demand patterns by driving 3 to 5% increase in trip volume and total revenue during peak tourist months. Therefore, it is recommended that GoodCabs should focus on targeted marketing campaigns, seasonal promotions, and partnerships with tourism agencies, which will boost visibility and attract tourists in peak season. And also it will enhance the awareness and increase the driver repeat usage. About the emerging mobility trends, the GoodCabs should adapt ride sharing and pooling, green transportation such as electric vehicles, on-demand services, micro-mobility solutions, and cashless and contact payment options. To remain competitive and achieve sustainability goals, it is recommended that GoodCabs should focus on integrating on all of these steps. Next, talking about the partnership opportunities with local businesses. As we know that collaboration with local businesses offers mutual benefits such as exclusive discounts, reliable transportation options, enhanced service offerings to the customers, which creates a long-term partnership with all the local businesses such as hotels, tourism or agencies, restaurants, etc. Therefore, it is recommended that GoodCabs should collaborate with local businesses to expand customer reach, increase brand visibility, and drive higher trip volume. It will also foster customer loyalty. Lastly, talking about the data collection for enhanced data-driven decisions, it is recommended that GoodCabs should collect customer satisfaction score and customer demographics so that we as data analysts could drive deeper into the customer behavior and then improve the customer experience. Nextly, GoodCabs should also collect average wait time, on-time performance of cab services, and fleet utilization rate so that we could improve the operational efficiency of GoodCabs. Lastly, competitive pricing index data should be collected, and the data regarding GoodCabs market share and demand by time so that the peak hours could be known, so that strategies could be optimized basis on this marketing trends and the peak hours and the peak hours during the days. The cab services could be generated more for better customer experience and more customer reach. So it is recommended that all of this data should be collected so that more strategies could be developed for enhanced customer experience and higher trip volumes and thus higher revenue generation for GoodCabs. Thank you.